This is our normal. We're near our normal average, our usual average.
Okay.
Did you correct yourself from saying normal to usual?
Okay, welcome everyone.
Well, it's
what is the difference?
I was actually thinking that wasn't very good data science speak. I should have said mean, and then I should have said our Gaussian mean. So Eric, thank you for that.
Okay, so it's about we'll start about the class next week, the same of this time, maybe before 8 minutes at 7 exactly. We will start the first session. The first session, it will be general introduction, and during this session, we will share with you a previous video or session. It was by Tina and Tom and Louis. This session, it will give you the great introduction to the class. So I prefer everyone is attending that session. It's about the automated supervised learning pipeline. And next week, we will include something from that session and also the general ideas about the class in general and how it started, how it's related somehow to the software development, where it is related to the software development process life cycle. And also we will have the first assignment, hopefully, and our TAs, they will take care about continue with you of this. We already, previously, we mentioned that as a teacher, we are going to use the MS Microsoft code as IDE during the sessions, but you are free to use anyone. And the session, it will be, for the first class, it will be the assignment about the data cleansing and the data quality. So I'm not going to mention more details about that, but our TAs, they will take care. So also part of the session group will be supervised by one TA, but then we are going to flip or to exchange. This TA will work with this group and vice versa. So at 7, we will start next week. It will be sharp. We will share the link for the class with all the registered people. I will share again the register application form. So anyone who already registered is okay. Who is not registered and wish to register, please. I think within 2 days we have to create the full list because it's needed for us to assign it to the TAs. Also, hopefully Ashish will be with us. I don't know if he joined or not. Ashish, are you here? He was asking something on Slack. So that...
Just so y'all know, I don't think he would mind me sharing this. He was in an accident. And
yesterday, yes.
Yeah, he's okay. But he, for full recovery, will be 15 days. So we may have a temporary lead TA. It may be Gaith and I, we'll see. But it may also be Manpreet, we'll see.
He told me about the accident, but I thought it's let's say it's not that much dangerous. So I told him just let's meet on Saturday. So hopefully he will recover soon. So this is our announcement for now. Any question about this class? We are ready to answer. Jonathan, please go ahead.
Yeah. I've already spoken on the private chat in Slack as well. I've seen the slides regarding the class, and I see for myself that the class is quite advanced to what I already know and understand. So should I just go and join the class and see what I can follow? I probably would struggle, or I see that may struggle with the assignment, looking at the context, but I would still be willing to go in and give it a go, but I wouldn't know if I'd be able to finish it.
Let me try to answer this one, Gaith, and then you fill in if you think I missed something.
Okay, good.
So if any of you feel like you're able to write a decent program in Python, that's great. Don't feel like you have to be a Python expert. We're going to show you some good Python techniques and methods when you're in the class. Also, we're not saying that you have to know machine learning. We just want you to be familiar with it. For example, it will really help if you understand that there's inputs we call features, there's outputs we call labels, there's a model in between those, and we have methods that we're going to teach you to train the model. If you can understand that a deep neural network or a basic neural network is just some neurons, some functions that are in a network that have weights between them. Like basically, if you guys watched a couple of YouTube videos on introduction to machine learning and introduction to neural networks, and you can program in Python at a beginning level, you're ready. And Jonathan, the other thing I want to emphasize is this is a beginner level class, but it also has a very good, unique value. Just like engineers follow careful methodologies when they do their analyses, we're trying to bring that level of discipline and thinking to the machine learning development. When you are working on a machine learning project, we're bringing that level of discipline and thoroughness of methodology to machine learning. So, and also, Jonathan, this might help with any last concerns you and others have. Each week, the assignments are going to be very bite-sized. We don't want anyone to feel like they're spending hours and hours on the homework. We're going to be designing it so it's at most an hour or two. If you're starting to go over an hour on the assignment, it's time to reach out for help. But really, we kind of hope that questions you can't find the answers to, you're going to the TAs right away. And the questions the TAs can't answer, they'll come to Gaith and I, and we'll jump in and help. Jonathan, does that help?
Yeah, it's definitely put some clarity over the level that should have going into the course. So.
And Jonathan, as a very famous friend of mine recently said, I'm going to apply what she said to this situation. Treat this class, even if it's a little scary for you, treat it as getting it out of your comfort zone. All right, good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
We will be kind and gentle, we assure you.
Was that a Geo quote?
Oh, I'm not worthy to mention the name of the person I was talking about.
Also, like, can I mention something?
Yes.
If anybody is coming to class, be at least enthusiastic and determined to learn something new, and have that thing that you'll be exploring something new on your own as well after the class. And it would be great if you come back with questions and something that we didn't discuss, so it would be good for everyone to know about it as well.
Very good, Manpreet. Thank you. You know, I'm going to be talking about this more and more frequently, but please understand this. One of our goals for this class is to increase your online notoriety. That I assure you, by the way, I love our blog space for data science. I love the courses that are out there. I think I've never seen a real bad one or anything like that. However, I do think this course has a really good, unique selling point, the way we're going to go about it. And that's why I want you guys, if it's scary for you to think of taking this course, still take it. Why? Because you will at least understand the pipeline and how the pieces of the pipeline relate to one another. And that's something you'll be able to keep your whole life. So it'll help you get a really good start discipline-wise into this field. Guy, do you want to add anything to all of that?
In fact, I don't want to add. In fact, it's perfect what you mentioned, you, Manpreet, and everyone. But it's only one point it's come to my mind, that when we are talking about this pipeline, it's preparing the model to be in production. So whatever it was, your knowledge, just like what mentioned Thom previously, whatever your, let's say, neural networks knowledge, maybe you are still in the basic of building neural networks. This new, huge, deep neural networks, you are not familiar with it. No need for that. Because whatever mentioned on this class, it will be generalized for all the scenarios that you are going to face in the modeling. We are not focusing on the modeling itself. Maybe there is some sessions we are going to mention special kind of models because it's important. But it's how you are going to this moving from machine learning modeling to the machine learning production. Why from my side, and Tom already, he has the lead on this, but from my side, this is important because this is preparing us, all of us, even me, to be on the market, not only working on research. Moving from research to production, it's a huge difference, a huge move. And there is something already prepared to, let's say, give us a kind of guidance how to move from there. So I think, Jonathan, this is the most important point, that why this class is important. Maybe it's a new concept for you, but it's, let's say, it's, you have to face it someday. And at the end, it's easy to move from it and back again to the, let's say, modeling basics or concepts, or study another models or computer vision or something like this. But this is something we have to face it in our production life. So that's why we want it. So don't be afraid about the names. Let's say huge, when we are talking about the syllabus of the class. No, it's something you are going to face it, and we are going to try to explain it on the easiest, simplest way. Maybe it's not easiest, but simplest way. And then work on it. See how it will work with us. This is the most important.
So one of my consciences, she's become a conscience to me, Kim. Did you all see her chat point? There is a huge, huge charge for the class. I mean, hey, I'm expensive. You have to pay it forward. But you've all heard me say this before. Just pay it forward. By the way, when Manpreet and I were on a recent show, I think it was when we were on the show, we said, hey, we're integrated, machine learning and AI and mentoring. We want to be copied. We want people to take what they're seeing us doing and using it and paying it forward. We're not trying to hold on to it. We're trying to give it away. And that's the way with the class. But Kim's absolutely right. Please, guys, when you find someone new, understand the best way to grow is to help them. But do it to help them too. I can tell you, the joy of knowing you helped them is far greater than the joy of how it improved your own knowledge. I can attest to that. And as you can see, this topic is very enlightening, and it's just going to enlighten us more and more here soon, even in actuality, right here. So sorry for that. I didn't get the sheet up yet. Well, with that, by the way, while I'm talking, Guy's going to copy the registration link into our chats in case you guys haven't registered for the class yet. And there was someone, you know who you are, asked about auditing the class. I really think it's better to just go ahead and take the class, because we're going to hold your hand when you need it. It's not, you're just going to get more out of it if you actually do the assignments. But for certain people, we will allow auditing, you know, that just they're noted members of our family. All right, conversion time. We had some great talks around resumes and interviews. And I invited some people who were contributing heavily to that to write blog posts to capture what we said. And these people are people that took some great notes. We're going to give credit for the things that were said to those people when we write these posts. But I want all of you to feel like you can write a blog post for Integrated, for our blog. It helps your notoriety. By the way, you might, I get this question, Tom, would you be upset if I went and wrote for another blog? No, I encourage it. I'm just trying to give you a place, a medium where you can write a blog post. Now, I will give a selling point to writing it with our blog. It's this. We don't do peer review. We do peer mentoring. And the peer mentoring is even harder. And Tina, are you here, honey?
Yes, Tom. Hi.
Was it easy to write a blog post with me, Tina?
Oh, of course it was. Like
No, wait. You got to be honest. I felt like I pushed you really hard.
Yes, that is why I felt like it was not. It was not like it was easy, but it was a very long journey because I had been writing a blog for Tom, like in our blog, for like on normal distribution. First, I thought about writing a whole post on normal distribution, like. Its different properties, the different tests that are used to identify normality, and we had a really long post, and Tom was constantly pushing me in order to find new ways, in order to code the little things, how to find the the PDF, the CDF, etc. And so I was actually initially I was not knowing how really well in order to how to code, but it was an amazing experience when Tom and I got together on a Google collab, and we both of us, coded how to find the PDF of normal distribution from scratch. And I was like, okay, this is how I do. And Tom was very patient with me, and so we thought initially we'll just post an introduction blog and then continue on the different levels into the properties and then the tests that are used in normal distribution and etc. So, there is a lot, sorry, there is a lot to complete.
Thank you, Tina. I just want to stress, guys, what we're trying to say is we're going to ensure the blog is high quality. Why? Well, for Integrated's notoriety, yes, but more importantly for yours. And we're going to go more into this in a minute, but that's just a story about the blog. So I don't want anyone, if they see some of our family members, doing a team writing experience, that doesn't mean you can't be included in a team writing experience. I just need to hear from you that you would like to do that. Now, I didn't want to lose the brilliance that was going on in those interview and resume meetings, because it was some of the best stuff I'd ever come across. And I'm not surprised with our group that it came out that way. So we're just really trying to capture that brilliance and put it in a blog post so we don't lose it, so that we can keep it. So if we have a Saturday session where you think, oh, that was so good and I don't want us to lose it, approach me or Manpreet and say, I want to write a blog post for that for our family. But please do, if you think of doing that, take notes so you can give credit to the names of the people that said things during the meeting, okay? Now, today, and this is related to what I just said with Tina and what I just said about the blog posts. Let's say you have a resume that couldn't be any better. Let's say your interview skills are top notch. But how do you get those interviews, guys? How do you get those invitations to come interview? So I'm going to quote Lewis Owen right now. It's not the best data scientists that get opportunities. It's the most visible. Now, when Lewis says that, I can imagine him being here and saying to him, Lewis, would you say your effort in being more visible helps you grow as a data scientist? And I know Lewis would say, yeah. When I did my landing page and I put an AI chat box to answer questions about me, that helped me grow. Now that I have that landing page, I get invitations to speak, and that helps me grow. Now, what am I talking about? Can someone say, I just want a one-word answer. What am I talking about developing? We've got a resume, we've got interview skills. What's the new thing I'm talking about right now?
Visibility.
Yeah, that's good, but we call notoriety portfolio. Sorry. Yeah, they're all good answers, by the way, but we're talking about developing a portfolio, but nowadays it's awesome because the portfolio we're talking about is one that people can find online. So I've invited a very famous guest this morning to speak on this topic. Her journey of how developing a stronger online presence got her job, her internship that looks like it's definitely going to turn into a job. So Tina, share with everyone how improving your online presence got you a job.
Yeah.
Congo,
so it is kind of like a journey that started when I was in my second year in masters. Like, I'm currently in my second year when it started. So in my second year when it began, I started posting regularly on LinkedIn, and it was a consistent effort, like one post every day regarding what I'm learning in class. Like, if I learn about a new algorithm, I try to write about what I learned on LinkedIn, and that actually helped me revise the concept as well as share my knowledge with anyone, or at least anyone who cares to learn more about the field of data science. So it was like, as Tom says, paying it forward. And I used to post these. Initially my contents were not that good, but then later on it started becoming better. And one random day, Tom asked me whether I wanted to write for his blog, Integrated MLAI. At that time, the thing was, I had another blog myself, which was not very in a medium blog, which I used to write small stuff, which did not have much viewership. So I was like, okay, I was like, oh my god, I'm so lucky to have mentorship as well as write in the blog of a famous data scientist. I was so excited. So I started, I happily accepted it. And later on, I started writing for his blog. And then the day I published my first blog, I got a very good response from a lot of people, and also criticizing comments, which actually helped us grow better, because all those comments actually help us in order to review what we actually did, or what we actually write. So all those criticism actually helped us to review, is there anything wrong, is there anything that we can develop for the next post or in this post itself. So okay, so once we did that, and then later on I posted again, and Tom also helped me grow a lot in coding as well as in writing. And it helped me gain a visibility as well as in the online platform of LinkedIn. And one day Tom had proposed that we do an online session on at DeFi, regarding the new post that is coming up by Louis, in collaboration with Tom and Louis. And I was actually very scared at the time, in order to talk to a whole data science community who has a lot of professionals. And I was having this kind of imposter syndrome, where I was feeling like, oh my god, how can I even talk to a whole community of experts when I'm just a master's student myself. So Tom helped me grow out of it. And I had that was a place where I had to break my comfort zone and come out of my bubble. And actually Geo, the Tom said, like, before our meeting, Geo is there in our audience, and we would want to give our best to Geo. So talk in a way, in such a way that Geo would understand the maximum of what we would want to give her. That actually helped me feel much more comfortable. And the first session went on really well. And we had a second session, which was for the Muscat chapter. I forgot the name of the organization. ICSAI or something. I forgot.
Yeah,
it was
but they're in Oman, which
Oman.
is on the Saudi Arabia Peninsula, of course.
Okay, so thank you, Deepa. And so Tom, Lewis, and I, gave the same session in the Muscat chapter. And after a few days, I get this message from a recruiter saying that there is an internship. We saw this, I'm assuming that he saw this like the session that we gave along with Tom, and he was like, there is a position for a junior data analyst internship at our company. I hope it is in the same place where I live, and it would be great if you could join our company as an intern. I was like, and that was the same time when I was looking out for an internship. So everything came together at the right moment, and the only reason why that message came to me was because I decided to get out of my comfort zone. I decided I would not be bothered if any people try to criticize me for anything that I write. I will learn from the criticisms. I will grow out of my bubble, and I will feel that I am not, I'm not constrained by all those factors. And I was really lucky in order to receive the mentorship from Tom, Manpreet, and all. And both of them actually helped me a lot in order to, they actually helped me improve my small mistakes and learn from them. So finally I got this internship, which was that like, this is an amazing journey. The internship itself, there's a lot of things that I'm learning, and I'm super happy about the work that I'm doing right now. And that is all thanks to all my dear mentors here. And I look forward to sharing my knowledge that I gained later with you. Maybe I might miss out on a few sessions in the future, but still, I love this opportunity that I'm getting here.
Now, guys, if you've heard yes, Tina, thank you. Where are my manners? So a couple of things before we hear from someone else. I want y'all to know, I appreciate y'all showing appreciation to me, but guys, I am not just saying this. It is my extreme honor to be able to give anything to the next generation, because you guys will go higher than my generation can go. So it really is an extreme honor. Now, an important element, Tina, you can just use hand signals now if you would, or if you want, you can actually unmute too. But I just want to point something out. Really, what got you going was you getting out of your comfort zone and writing posts on what you were learning on LinkedIn. And like you said, the more you did that, the better you got. But guys, getting out of your comfort zone, and by the way, y'all might think I'm really brave. And yeah, I guess relatively speaking, I am, but I can be a real chicken. Is there any guidance from anyone we know that we could get on getting out of our comfort zone? Anyone? Any advice where we could go to get help on getting out of our comfort zone?
Yeah, doing what you fear the most.
Yes, there you go. Is there any medium we could listen to get guidance on that? Oh, y'all are sick.
Yeah, actually, I think I found one the other. Well, it was on the Gilbert's LinkedIn had a video from TEDx Maastricht.
That's good. But guys, I'm ashamed of y'all. I was doing a big hint, kind of like Gio's latest video. It was on getting out of your comfort zone. But yeah, Jonathan, please do find that link. Gio would encourage y'all, don't use me as your only source for getting out of your comfort zone. I'm going to tell y'all, please don't make the course we're going to teach your only course on machine learning. But really, it would be great if y'all could listen to Gio's latest video, even if you've already listened to it before. It was done really well on getting out of your comfort zone.
Manpreet, may I say something?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to say something that is the first time that you leave your comfort zone is the most difficult. But then the second time is like you have a previous knowledge of how to do that, and you know that is very rewarding. So you have the motivation to do it, and it's every time that you decide to leave your comfort zone, it's like okay, this time is going to be uh, exciting, but because I know how to do it. It's a different situation, but we are trained. So that you just have to do it by the first time, and then your life is going to change because you are going to know when to leave your comfort zone, and you are going to have tools, experience, knowledge on how to do it. So it's so rewarding. So just we need to decide by the first time, and then it's awesome.
That's a great point, Gio. Thank you. That, in other words, the first time we leave our comfort zone is the hardest, but it gets a little easier every time after that. And I would have to agree looking back. Guys, I'm assuming you all know what the Grand Canyon is in the United States. And I'm assuming you would all agree you can't jump over it. I want to just do a little thing to help you. I sympathize with everyone feeling the imposter syndrome thing. But here's what I want you to embrace and to use this to try to ignore that imposter syndrome feeling. You can't jump over the Grand Canyon, but you can climb down into it and you can hike across it. It's going to take time. It's going to be a tough journey, but it's going to be beautiful too. You are where you are in life. And the only way you get to the next point is by taking one step at a time. But enjoy the hike. It's beautiful. Love learning. Learning's awesome. The stuff that we learn to do is cool. So just ignore all that other stuff about imposter syndrome and just enjoy the journey and accept where you are and that you can only get somewhere else by taking one step at a time. Okay, regarding building our online presence and a portfolio, Manpreet.
Like you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, like we discussed.
He wants you to show off a little bit, I guess. All of
Yeah.
your achievements.
Time to show off,
Yeah.
Manpreet.
Okay, and I'm also still learning and building my GitHub that I have to work on to build myself. But I'll be very frank, I was nowhere on LinkedIn. I was just a silent leader for like 3 years. And this lockdown, when I was bored, being in last year and you had nothing to do, was LinkedIn connecting to people for jobs, basically. And then it turned out to get connecting with community. And then it was like, okay, let's help community. Because I used to do in college, we had GDG clubs and all. So yeah, it's I my friend encouraged to start it in my state, and then it went on to be being so good connecting with you all. So it's like start with small. I also used to get 0 views on my initial videos, and now I get at least 10 people live on my LinkedIn. So it's a great achievement in 5 months from 0 to 10. But I hope someday I'll get good people on, like on live. Great audience watching me live. But yeah, it's like you need to be persistent. Yeah, you will fail, you'll feel bad, but then okay, take a break, talk to yourself. Why am I going bad? What happened that things are going? Also, like as Magdi mentioned, see how you are doing your goals and how Geo says with their vision statement. See your vision statement. Where are you now? What do you need to do for that? And keep doing it. Not today, not tomorrow, not 2 months. Like Tina said, it was persistent effort, and see, she is enjoying now.
You know, I've noted, guys, that there's some noteworthy people that like to be on Manpreet's show. And because she started her own channel, now she's an ambassador for, I forget how to say it, the deep, say it for me.
INAI, Gujarat.
Yes, thank you. And
And Kagal Days, Surat.
yeah, that's no small achievement. And Manpreet got there by that. By the way, Greg, are you present? Greg Coquille? It's okay. He may just be late today, but I asked him if he'd like to support this topic. He agrees strongly. Having a good resume is not enough. If you really want to have an advantage, just keep developing a portfolio. Yeah, Manpreet.
Also, like, I want to add that after the session, I messaged Magdi and Craig to see my resume, and I went out of my comfort zone and I talked to them. Okay, I need help, I need feedback. And if that session has happened, and if you take really good feedbacks from people, it would help you improve. And I'll tell you, she gave the best feedback I ever got. And like, even Greg was also so good in explaining me things. And it helped me genuinely to realize, oh, I've been missing so much things in my CV. So if you are getting this advantage of this community, take it to the fullest, because these people are awesome, like Kimberly and Tom and Kay, Giovanna, Valerie, Magdi, all are awesome.
By the way, I want to correct a great wrong that I caused a while back. We're going to practice. Geith is very important to us, and it took me a while to learn to say his name right. So we're going to all practice. Geith. Anyway, I'm at fault for anyone saying his name wrong. It's my fault. So I'm trying to say it right now. Okay. I want this to just be let go now, meaning let's talk about, I have a list of things I do and still want to do to improve my online portfolio. But I love it when you guys get talking and share your ideas with one another. So let's get into that now. Who has a thing they're burning to say about a cool way to build your online portfolio? Let's hear it.
I guess Abdul has to say something.
By online portfolio, you mean like GitHub or like LinkedIn, reaching out, those kind of stuff? I have things to say about both. So, what do you want me to speak about first? GitHub?
Both.
We
Both?
want you to speak on what you think is important about an online portfolio.
For me, I would say the presence you make when you're online is what matters most. Like, for example, if you're doing 100 GitHub projects, great. But are you sharing those? Where are you sharing those? Instagram, LinkedIn? What sources are you using to make people know that, okay, look at me, I've done this, and look, this is my capability, right? So it's the building part of an online portfolio starts from learning through courses first. And then if you've learned enough, you think you can implement on something, you should right away go ahead and start implementing, even if it is like something like the MNIST data set where you just have to determine the numbers from images. Even something simple as that. Just put it up on GitHub. I don't know if you can do something new on that data set. Already a lot of stuff has been done, but people these days are doing crazy 3D visualizations on the MNIST data set, which is still rare. So that's one idea. You can do that. You can show it up on LinkedIn, and that's one. You get something, some ideas from there. Okay, where to go next? You want to see where to go next? You go to Kaggle. There are thousands and thousands of projects that you can replicate or put your own edge to it. And then again, just keep repeating the process, keep repeating it, then start collaborating with people. That's exactly what I did. And now collaborating, I've reached this point of like talking to 100 people maybe over here on this thing. I used to talk to myself, right, some months back, and that's how it's like the snowball effect. It starts like with just flakes, a ball, and then like a big ball, and then it's just a big ball until like then you become Tom. That's how it happens. That's all I have to say.
I want y'all, that was good, Abdul. Thank you. And I want y'all to set your sights higher than Tom. I got to tell y'all, I'm not doing it perfectly. And because of the way my career.
No. I think I'm going to
Well,
give you enough credit
well,
for what
thank you.
you do.
But what I'm saying, to Tim's point, he's saying the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The next best time is now. And basically, what I'm trying to say, Abdul, is I went for years thinking a portfolio was important and never getting around to it. And then when I was between jobs, and I went, okay, full speed now, and it was the thing that made the
Understood.
difference.
I
Yeah, that's all I
understand.
meant. Yeah,
I
thank you.
understand. Yeah, one more thing that is important, like you mentioned, like countless times, it's like start early, right? Like wherever you are, just try to start like as early as possible. As time keeps passing, you start to get way more responsibilities in life. Young people younger than me don't understand this, that as you keep growing, the responsibility level is exponential, right? So start early. That's one of the things, because if you reach like a critical stage in your portfolio where it's like so huge that it does not matter if you leave a job, some job is ready for you. That's like the kind of place you want to reach as early as possible. And that's possible only if you increase visibility through going through projects. And like I said, it's a rinse and repeat process until you become significant.
So just to clarify, guys, that book will be How to Become Ta. You don't want to become Tom, you want to become Ta. Okay, that was awesome, Abdul. Thank you. And oh, there's a long one over here. Also, from Manpreet, you can replicate people's research papers and maybe bring out some observations. Oh, this is really good. By using different data sets, what difference it makes. Basically, you're helping prove someone's machine learning project, like a hypothesis. You're saying you're giving more credit to that work, or you're calling into question some weaknesses we need to be aware with it. It's very powerful if done in a constructive way. The computation power you use, how does it make a difference? When you, so she's, Manpreet, I should be letting you do this, but why don't you elaborate on what you were saying? This is so good.
I just meant to say, as Abdul was mentioning, to make GitHub projects. Like when I was doing research, you can implement people's research projects. As you see, companies like Google and Facebook have a lot of computation power, and as a normal person, you can't have that same computational power. So when you try to implement these papers, you will understand, okay, this is something. The computation power I'm facing, maybe they had used one Twitter data set. You can use something different data set and see how does the difference it is making. And different, when you try out different things and when you try to implement someone's thing, you will understand, okay, what is happening behind that process. Also, it would help you to make a blog post for others also. While doing this, I found out this weakness. You don't know that author might see and tell you to collaborate with you. Okay, you found out these mistakes in my paper, let's collaborate and do something good. You don't know, something might happen, so just keep trying.
One
These
quick
are,
note and on that, about replicating research papers. I've tried that, and it's super hard. First thing is computation, like Manpreet has told, and second thing, it's very hard. If you're talking to beginners over here, I think like you to reach even a level where you can replicate any sort of paper would be pretty deep ahead. Like you should not need this course that we are teaching, and that then you might be at a level to even try replicating a paper. Just throwing it out there, replicating papers is a hard deal. I don't know if somebody supports me over here or not on that.
no, I do support you. By the way, what might be good, that was deep and it's important. It's to show to what Manpreet just said is some of the pinnacle work you can do in your portfolio development. But you may not want to start with that. What I'd like to do is maybe let's do this in the comments. Type out, let's get a breadth, like your personal landing page, LinkedIn posts, blog posts, GitHub repos. Let's list those in the comments real quick. So we get a breadth first, then we can talk about a triage. which ones are most important to do first as you're building your online portfolio, your online presence. I'll throw one out that oh yes, someone just, guys, really go study at least 3 references on how to improve your LinkedIn profile. I'd say for benefit to effort ratio, that gave me more than anything. Just just go find a way to really improve your LinkedIn profile. I got tired of advising new people that I connected with, hey, you want to go improve your profile this way and that way, and guys, take the time to learn everything you can to make your LinkedIn profile better, and then keep doing it. Thom, do you know of any good profiles used as a reference? What I would really strongly recommend is you just do a Google search on how to make your LinkedIn profile maximized or something like that, and try different Google searches. Go read the advice. A lot of those articles are written so well, and they're very helpful. Now, another thing that, oh yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, just wanted to. It's funny that we're saying about this portfolio, because I was actually looking or starting to create a GitHub one as well, and you also have the option to create it as a kind of a web page as well. And how would you say that's a good idea to try and guide people through that web page, through your projects in order of your how you done your project, starting from like your very basic and then leading them through that journey to your most recent project that could be more complex? Try to bring them through that journey, or do you say, well, no, this is my best project, put it out there straight in front?
So Jonathan, if I heard you correctly, I think you were saying if I have a landing page somewhere, like, by the way, Lewis's personal web page is on GitHub. It's hosted from GitHub. And if you search on Lewis Owen, that's the top link, is his GitHub website. And Manpreet's encouraged, so you don't have to go get a hosting service to have your own website. By the way, my son-in-law, who's brilliant, he's a network administrator genius, he has his landing page on GitHub, and it didn't take him long to do it. But you need to go look up the tools to do it. Go ahead, Jonathan. Yeah.
He has a blog written on it.
Yeah. Sorry. He
has a blog even written on it.
Yeah. So yeah, I've read out how you can already activate it on GitHub, the landing page, but it's also just, what do? Do you guide people through the journey, or just bullet point your first one straight out there, your big projects that you've done, or do you guide them through your progress?
So Jonathan, like all these things we're talking about, treat each element of your portfolio as a living thing. It's something that you need to go water and feed every once in a while, and improve and grow. So, but I like the idea of taking people on a path of what you want to show them about your work in your landing page. Guy, you wanted to say something a minute ago.
Yes, in fact, I want to start from the beginning, when Tina told us about how this happened to her and how she found the intern according to that. But I want to say that it's not something nice to have, so you will get better opportunities according to that. I think it's a must. It's your mirror. Your online portfolio, it's your mirror. So we have to work on it. By the way, I'm not on GitHub until now. Okay, and this is something because 90% of the project that I work, it was in production. So I wasn't able to post anything to GitHub. But for example, Jonathan, I was thinking about something. If you are talking about kind of landing page, your personal landing page, also you can check wix.com. It can give you very fast, you can make it in one day if you have your content ready and start then improving. It's very easy, and it's very nice, by the way. But back to my point, it's it's something that we have to follow to keep on our track. We are not expecting that this is will give us good result and then we can forget about it. No, we have to keep updating about it. It's our mirror, it's our life mirror, it's our online life mirror. So we are living our life, doing our job, doing everything, but we are telling the community online that we are here and this is what's happened today. It's not kind of news, but it's kind of showing our progress. If we didn't show our progress, we will stop at the point that we show, even if we are already doing great progress. So, what I mean, maybe what will happen during the professional life, maybe sometime we will forget about your portfolio. You are not updating anything, and then suddenly there's disaster appeared. So you are you go and do maintenance for this portfolio because you want to be online and you are looking for something. Yes, this is happen, but at the end, when you check about it, yes, it's something you have to keep. We have to keep it updated with our latest project, and it's helped us to grow, to learn more, and also to show our abilities and show our skills to who's interested, to who might concern. So what I mean by this, it's not a period of time that you have to keep your portfolio good and then when you got a job, forget about it. It's not like this. It's not you are paying to buy something. No, you have to keep it part of your life, how to improve it and update it day by day.
If I may add something on, and it relates to Tina's story, because I think the key was there as well, beyond the knowledge she shared, the consistency, and this is what Guy's also telling. Uh, if you, and I'm not talking about GitHub, but also like LinkedIn, if you wanna be present there and visible there, and you have this idea, you have your goal, that means that you have to be consistent. So you cannot just start it and then drop it after a while because there is something better to do or you don't have time. Then at the beginning you have to think about it, how regular you want to be present, like Tina made it on a daily basis based on her circumstances and opportunities. But it is really be realistic and say that, okay, I'm committed to do this on a daily basis or a weekly basis. I will choose one day, like Wednesdays, I will make a post, because that has also kind of a promotional power. And consistency is the key. So you cannot just drop it, as Guy said, that yeah, when you got the dream job and that was it, yeah, my goal is achieved. I mean, you just drop your community, kind of community and audience. You cannot do it. You have to understand that when you start it, you have also responsibilities, and even if it's like 10 people, or you never know, maybe 10 people is there, but that 10 people is sharing with another 10 people, so it goes exponential at the end, and you never know who you reach via these via your post. And obviously you don't want to disappoint anyone, basically, because you just stop it because it's not so important anymore for you in your life situation.
Very good points, Magdi. Thank you. Yeah, and Ghazi, please go.
Yeah, I'm just going to say a bit about LinkedIn. So we talk about consistency in posting. It's also very good to be very clear about the messaging of your posts, and even outside the posting, it's also the interaction you have with other people's posts. So it's really great idea to identify the kind of people you want to um, have conversations with and engage with their posts, and make a point to, leave very thoughtful comments that showcase your own. Again, it's almost an advert, sort of your understanding of whatever subject matter it is. And when you leave that, you also have people commenting on your post and also looking up your profile, because of the kind of comments you're leaving in your own area of interest. So even when you can't post daily or write great posts, but you can say what you think about topics. So you can make a point of engaging with content. Tom does it very well. You post something and he's there, with a comment that sort of reaches out to you, which is how which is how we met actually on LinkedIn. So that's a very great way of building a community. And when you do that, when you post, those people then see your feed and comment on your feed. And that is how you get traction on LinkedIn.
That point is so important, and it's kind of a subtle thing, but because of what I'm about, it's really important that I interact with people on my post. And Ghazi, thank you for that. But it kind of comes back to that central point that Jonathan and I were talking about. All these things are living, and they need to be nurtured. And another important point that I'm trying to feel a pulse from the comments.
Yep.
Kim, have you, and Ghazi both, have you ever done a physical activity that you hadn't done in a long time, and you were either starting it for the first time or you were getting back into it after a long time?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you mean like running?
Yeah, like running. So do you go, let's say you want to run 5 miles a day consistently. Do you do that right at the beginning? That would be insane.
That would be difficult, yeah.
So what you do, by the way, something y'all don't know about me. I was a competitive swimmer growing up, and I can walk easier. I can swim easier than I can walk. But if I wanted to get prepared to swim the English Channel, I would have to train for that. I couldn't just show up in Britain and swim over to France. I would have to prepare, even though I'm an expert swimmer and I teach people swimming when they ask. But the point I'm trying to make here with us, don't post every day on LinkedIn right at the beginning. Like Eric was saying, he does twice a week and it works great for him. And his posts are awesome, by the way. So start small.
Yeah, you'll quickly run out of steam, wouldn't you, of what to say. And if anybody is really interested in posting on LinkedIn, I'm happy to have a chat out of here. I'm not great. I'm not an expert, but I started posting towards the middle of last year on LinkedIn. But being the analyst that I am, I went through a lot of studying to work out how to actually sustain the habit. I've taken a break of a few weeks now because I wanted to change the trajectory of my messaging on LinkedIn. From doing, just simple posts, I want to do some deep dive, which is about what I do professionally and showcasing that sort of expertise. And to change that trajectory, I deliberately have taken about 3 weeks break now, that I've not posted anything work related. I've posted some personal stuff. Well, not personal. Some you've seen some of them just general stuff. But I've not really posted anything work related because, and as we speak, I'm just finishing up an article, that I'm doing, which I will share on LinkedIn. And everybody, I'm happy to connect with the whole group here. I'll send you connection invite, or connect with me, and I'm happy to connect with you. But if you want to, I can talk you through my work if you're sort of a newbie on LinkedIn, just to share what I know. As I said, I'm not a LinkedIn coach. I don't have the kind of traction that popular people do have, but I'm willing to share what I know. Is all I'm saying. Yeah.
That was great, Ngazi. And guys, there's some really good things being said in the comments. And I want to give you a statement. I want you to ponder it for just a moment. Do what you can, then do what's possible, And before long, you'll be doing what you, I'm modifying a little bit, what you thought would have been impossible. It's interesting, once you start posting, it's like fertilizer for your brain. And you start interacting with your audience and it strikes you, oh, I think I need to post on this too. But I encourage you all to be guilty of something. Be guilty of thinking broadly and deeply about our arts. They're beautiful. We're just quantifying what we see in language and vision and all these other things. We're turning it into giant math problems and solving it. There's so much to glean from that. I mean, as you can see, there will be no end in sight to my Saturday series on how to grow better. But all that's just, I'm just collecting, I'm just building a model of collected wisdom. It's not so much from me. And I'm actually begging people to give me their versions of those models. And Greg couldn't have timed that better for coming in, but let me finish my point. Start small and just keep working on it. There's one other thing I want to say before Greg's going to talk, and it's this. And it must have been really important because it just went completely out of my brain. Oh, it was a subtle point. In all of the things we're talking around, there's one platform that maybe was mentioned and I missed it in the comments, Stack Overflow. The more you get into coding, the more you'll find your Google searches taking you to Stack Overflow. Occasionally, you're going to get to a level of coding where you can't find an answer to your question, but you might be able to cobble together an answer through experimentation and reading a lot of things. Then you can go back to one of those Stack Overflow questions and provide the answer. You can also ask the question and then go find the answer yourself and post the answer, and that's huge. It's really important. By the way, I started to put a bigger emphasis on Stack Overflow 5 years ago. You can grow your presence there. It takes time, but it's one of those things you need to nurture. Greg, how are you, buddy?
Doing well, doing well. Good morning, team. It's so great to see you guys. I'm just paying the consequences of binge watching videos late at night, and I find myself so hard to join. So, Eric, no, you can't drop out when I have to come here. Come on, you
Everyone
make me
is
feel
clearly
bad.
in good hands.
Yeah. But great
Greg,
to see you guys.
We've been talking around the importance of a portfolio, an online portfolio, so people can find you and validate that you can do stuff. Just wanted to hear from you on that real quick too.
Yeah, so the one of the difficult thing is to, in my opinion, is to free yourself from judgment. And starting is one, but also after starting, you have to be willing to let people see what you've built. Most of us, we're not born knowing everything. We learn and we grow. We have to be willing to learn new things and share with others what we've learned through different things. We can share it by teaching others, or we can share by, showcasing our portfolio, what we've built, and be open to others giving us what we call criticism. Typically, sometimes it's hard to listen to. However, there are those who are willing to give you constructive ones that can help us grow. And the most important thing too is wherever you sourced that learning, it's good to give that source some credit. so you can help others, so you can show others that you've done your homework. You're encouraging others to also go do their homework, meaning you encourage them to go search that source, do some research on their own to also grow. So it's this kind of flywheel that you're creating, that you're inspiring others to do the same. And I guess for me, it's a matter of starting and not being afraid to hear from someone who doesn't necessarily agree with the way you solve the problem or the way you tackle the project. But at the end of the day, no matter what you do, when you put your portfolio out, you grow either way.
Also, like adding to Greg's point is that your portfolio should speak for yourself, that when I visit your profile, I know that this person is actually, his content is so good for this. Like when I know that I'm seeing Giovanna's post, it's constantly for soft skills and now is helping the community. If you see Ashi's post, it's for computer vision series he has started. And how, because that will catch the eyes of people who are actually looking for computer vision projects, and it will help them to grow because your domain, your post speaks for you and your profile speaks for you, and it's with genuinely you are doing it to help people and not just to get recognition. So that's how your profile, online profile, matters.
It really does. And here's the thing: when you get in a situation where you're working on real life use cases, do share. For me, I really like to read about those posts that can really connect me to real life thing. I think Chantanil, you did something on Queen's Gambit. Was that you who created this killer visualization? This was something people can relate to, right? Queen's Gambit is like flooding Netflix. A lot of people watched it. I confess I haven't yet, but when you see projects like this, you can connect to it and gain insights from it, and you can see how a real life use case is used to create a portfolio. Those are the type of things. Get creative and do not be afraid of judgment. So that's it really drives dividends for you. And recruiters day in day out, they are there looking for cues to show that you're different from the crowd. It's only up to you, really.
Also, like I remember to this point, I recently saw on LinkedIn somebody made data set and visualizations of Elon Musk tweets and how they're affecting the stock markets. It was so good. Like, if you want to make your online presence, this was such a good idea to create visualizations and be different from people. That visualization was such impactful, like how with his tweets stock changes.
I
It
saw
was
it
so good.
too.
Yeah.
I saw it too. It was very good.
A
But I
thought,
will,
guys.
I will just add
I was
something.
uh, I was in some
Oh,
of those
sorry.
stocks,
We're all
and
talking.
sorry.
We're
I
all
was in some of
talking.
those stocks, and I know how he affects it. That post must have been awesome. I don't know if you can share it with me, Manfred.
Excellent. Thank you, Abdul. And Ghazi, going ahead.
Now, I was just going to say that, while it's nice to, make different types of posts, I think centrally you should still have your own central theme of what you want to talk about. And I think what I've learned so far, for now, I think I know most times what I see in Greg's post. I have a mindset when Greg posts what I'm going to read. There's a certain consistency and congruency about what he posts and who, what message he's giving. So it's not just about chasing. So if you're not into visualization or whatever, maybe today you do something on visualization, tomorrow you do something on something else. I think is the one thing I've learned in the few months I've been on LinkedIn is to try and be consistent with where your professional trajectory is going, because if you don't do that, you risk sending out mixed messages because every post is looking at a different thing entirely. So that's all I will add to that, in as much as it's nice to talk, and of course you can have times you just go free, free will and talk about something that is just of general interest, which I do. Last Sunday, I was talking about my high heels. For any of you ladies, go and check it out. I was just looking at my high heels and wondering when am I going to wear them again with the lockdown. And from that, looking at my shoes in my bedroom, I made a post of it. Sorry, it was just so funny. But that's nothing related to work. But when it comes to work, it's really important your messaging is consistent around your subject area.
Yeah.
Next. Oh, Chantanel's had something to say for quite a while. Sorry for that, Chantanel. Hey,
No worries.
everyone, real quick. Down in the toolbar, at the center, the far right one to center is called reactions. Use the raise hand feature there. It really helps me so I don't look someone over. I never intentionally look anyone over. So Chantanel, going ahead.
So yeah, I do agree with what everyone is saying. So I would like to share one experience that I have seen. So building a niche is very important, but for me, when I was a beginner, like I started posting on LinkedIn maybe around June, July, or August, and it has been like a good 6 months. I've got a good repo going on. What I realized is once you start posting on certain kind of stuff, if you are not clear on what you are trying to talk about, things go bad like really quickly. Like what I have seen when I was sharing all this, because I'm sharing mostly about visualization stuff in data science and all, I might have given a wrong impression that I am the visualization guy only and doing that in Excel. So what I realized, I was getting some offers of internships and all where people were asking me that you need to build something in Excel, whereas what I was trying to create on in the post was trying to solve business problems and not a visualization aspect. So being clear on what you want to talk about is very important, because if it gives the wrong message, then you are going to get like not what you are actually hoping to get. So yeah, that has been my experience. So be very clear on how you post things and how you pose yourself.
Yeah, very important.
Yes, and that takes practice. By the way, I want to just put out a thought. It's okay if it dies. What's more powerful, to find holes in the space to fill or to create a niche? What I mean is, when I say a hole, do you see a need that's not being met in the community? And how can you fill the hole of that need? Greg?
I think that's a very interesting question, and closing gaps is always a great way of doing it, or finding a niche. I think they're equally important. Here's why. What differs is how you're able to explain it to others, right? How you're able to showcase how to close this gap, and people connect to things they can relate to. When you have this knack for explaining things in layman terms, no matter how complicated it is, that's how you connect with people. And by the way, when you build a portfolio, your most prize project, the ones that you love the most, or the subject that you love the most, you might get your heart broken when you try to expose it out there, because not everybody will connect to it. It depends on how deep it is. And when you go in depth, the more you're reducing your niche, the more a few people understand what you're talking about. I'll give you a quick example, and it goes for posting us on the subject too. I went and watched Tenet, a couple weeks ago, and they're talking about reverse entropy, and I'm like, wow, look, I know cross entropy is used for certain models to check for loss. So let me try to understand what this is. So I went and read a couple things, and I fell in love with the post. I'm like, look at this, I'm about to hit, post. I got so many like reaction, like, what is this guy talking about, kind of thing about it, that I was like, come on, guys, I love this one. It's reverse entropy, entropy in real life, and then cross entropy. What don't you guys know about this? I mean, research it, look at it. I'm giving you some materials, and they broke my heart, kind of. But at the end of the day, I learned. It's considered one of my favorite posts because I'm a big fan of sci-fi, and here I am using sci-fi with cross entropy and data science, and I really liked it. And a few got it, so that made me happy, and I moved on. So just to tell you, find your niche. Thank you, Timothy. I appreciate you. Find your niche or close a gap, but be good at soft skills, be good at communication, and help others understand what you're talking about. So that's what really matters.
Yeah, that was good. Very good. I'm resisting the temptation to talk about the different definitions of entropy in the world. The entropy in thermodynamics is quite different from the entropy in information, although they're kind of related conceptually, right? But yeah, exactly. All right. But I think, and Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, as you're looking for things to post about or do projects on that you're going to put online, there's a lot of options for what you do. But I would say, y'all probably heard the statement, culture eats strategy for lunch. We have an internal culture, and it's our passions. Last night, I gave a talk to a group of students in India. It was fun. And I told them in high school, I got my very first C in my very first semester of physics. And I got straight A's in biology. So what did I choose? A physics related field. I was like, cool. It was just more challenging, but it was my passion. Biology was like, ugh. But when I looked at physics, it was like, this is so cool. And what I'm trying to say is, probably if you have a passion for something you want to learn, you don't, and let's say it's something that's way beyond you right now, talk about your path to get there. Make your first post. I'm developing a curriculum for myself to learn this on my own because I really want to learn it. I was surprised. I thought I would get shot down and criticized for being open about needing to learn reinforced learning and transformers. And those have been some of my best posts as far as reactions. I mean, they were my best posts because I loved writing them, but I was sometimes worried what kind of nerves they would hit, but they did fine. Other thoughts about what I just like the passion thing more than anything. Ngazi, please go.
Yeah, you're so right, Tom and Greg. Before, yeah, when you start niching down your audience, reduce this, and I don't think it really depends on where you're at, in whatever it is, whether you're trying to get it, like Tom said, if you're trying to learn something new, starting a post, because people sort of react to help me kind of thing a lot. So if you said, "Oh, I'm trying to learn this," you probably get people who know it, who are willing to offer. If it will resonate with people, those that want to teach you, those that want to learn, who will say, "Oh, let me share with us whatever you learned." Those that want to say, "Oh, I've got resources that you can use." those that will offer you all sorts of advice. So people will react to it. And if you're starting out again in your profession, there are so many, you know, you don't really need to come up and sound like an expert, because you're not. But if you're an expert, then there are many things you've already done that you can share from a place of knowledge, because these are things you've actually done over time and you can share with the community. And but there's always something new to learn. So there, you know, there are different ways to sort of construct whatever it is all around the same area. All I'm saying is that, like, if you're looking for a job, like Sean Tamil talked about, did I say that right? Sean Tamil, sorry. If you're looking for a job and you're posting about something else, yeah, you're going to get people who think that's your area of expertise and who then offer you things in that area. So I'll go back to my point of, you know, being very clear about what it is you're trying to present yourself as. If you are open to learning and you think you're just starting out, there's a lot of specialism to do in the future, then you can talk about all the beginner things. And if you're a grown, if you're trying to divert into a different field from where you are, you know, there's something I wrote in the message. You can look at a project and try to adapt it to a specific field. Because then people in that field it will sort of resonate with them in a different way from just making it very generalistic. So, you know, there are different ways to sort of niche down, or, you know, make it a bit more broad. But yeah, there are so many ways to look at topics. And again, I'm just only learning. Greg is the master in LinkedIn posting, so I will always listen to what he has to say. Thank you.
That's really good, Ngazi. Thank you for that. I just wanted just a little point here. Kim's question's excellent. We definitely want to help each other this way. But when you identify an area you want to learn and get good at, and you probably will go at one curriculum at a time, but it's good to have some extra references or do some web searches along the way. For example, you're breaking into NLP and you come across a concept in your primary curriculum that you don't understand. And so just start Googling it. Try to understand it at a high level. It's amazing to me how, as you look more broadly, as you look at a breadth of references, it just starts to sink in magically in your mind. It may take a week or two at times. I remember when I was first starting to study full stack web development, I hit some concepts that brought me to my knees. And so I would just go practice those little things in isolation for up to a week or two until I was comfortable with that aspect of the tool set. This is embarrassing. For over 2 decades, I avoided learning JavaScript because I thought it was something related to Java. They're not related at all. And when I finally learned JavaScript, I just hated it that I had taken so long. I actually wondered why it hadn't become the next Python. It's so good. But this journey is sometimes going to have detours. Just keep collecting. You want to build up a digital or literal library on these things. But the nice thing, you can post about your journey in blog posts, in LinkedIn posts. By the way, this is how I became good friends with Dennis Rothman. I posted about learning transformers. He piggybacked on my post and wrote his own post, preempting his book, not saying it was a book, just saying there's something big coming. I formed a learning group for transformers. Great people. We invited Dennis in. Dennis was just one of the guys. It was great. Then I literally was on my proverbial knees begging Robert Jane to give me a pre-release copy. And I said, I'll even go to summer school. I'll read it full time. and I'll send all the errata directly to Dennis. And he said, okay. And he sold packed on it, and they gave me a pre-release copy. Now this is, it doesn't always go this way, but I'm just saying, if you dive in, it's like Ngazi said, those help please, that they really work well. And but also there's another benefit to sharing your learning journey. It keeps you accountable. So start with the main one, but to find that main one, go look at the types of courses you like, whether it's a book, whether it's a video course, whether it's a written course. Find your favorite one. If it costs money, by the way, never spend full price for an Udemy course. You can always find a coupon code, okay? But then when you find that, it doesn't mean that's the only source you'll learn from. Just make it your primary source right then. Then go through another one and then another one. But over time, you can develop a specific learning plan for that area. And like I've said before, your first learning plan may not be very good or very complete, but just like we've been talking about all these things, it is a living thing. You will have to keep developing it, keep modifying it. Okay, I've talked too long, but I hope that helped. Anything to add or a new direction to go?
Tom, I think what you mentioned was really important about starting up learning groups. I think that's a great idea because everyone has different things that they need to go deep on. And when you need to go deep on a specific thing that you might not understand, a great way to do that is to join up with other people who are working in that space.
And Deepa, you're right. Find a coupon, just search for a coupon on that Tableau course. Yeah, I would encourage you to do that. Okay, any other comments on this? Or to me, we've kind of taken a fork. I only did it because of some comments, but again, just because you're learning something doesn't mean you shouldn't be building your portfolio. That's the main point. And Brazil is now represented. Thanks for showing up, Roxelle. Oh, you're muted, Roxelle.
Yes, no, thank you. Thanks, and sorry for the late. I was too tired because the studies, but now I'm here.
Excellent, excellent.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, Ngazi, please go on ahead. Hi, Roxelle. Ngazi, you have your hand up.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah. No, I was going to say is don't feel shy about reaching out to people. I've had a conversation with Greg before I joined this group. I was surprised to see him. I just on LinkedIn messaged him, can we have a chat? And he was up for it. So people are more willing than you know to help. So just reach out to people, and ask questions. Yeah, Tom, you know our story, yeah? And that's what it is. I've had conversations just through LinkedIn with people I would never have met. So yeah, reach out and ask the question.
Guys, was that a hand up or a clap?
No, it's clapping because to be original with people, I think it was my next comment. So that's why I just approved it.
Excellent. Okay, good.
Hey, Tom. Can I?
Yes. Yes, Sai, go.
This week I just had an experience. I got selected for an interview for it's a global MNC for data science, and its name was Atkins Global. So I really wanted to clear that interview, but unfortunately it did not go well. I connected well with the, you can say the HR, I networked, I did everything. And HR was very impressed by the data science course, and he said, yeah, you're really doing great. I'll give you an opportunity. Okay, I'll just connect you with the data science team of the company. And I just connected with them. But the interview did not happen as I wanted, because I didn't know what happened when they interviewed. I was like, struck. I don't know what to speak at that moment. And they asked 10 questions and I could not answer even one of the questions. But at the end, I just said, he at the end, the interviewer asked, do you want to say anything? I just said, so I'll come back to you. Maybe I'm not able to speak, but I'll definitely come back to you. I don't know how I'll do. I don't know how I'll answer the questions. But yeah, that's my experience I wanted to share. I hope you guys will help me out with it.
Sai, what kind of questions were they asking you?
They were asking me regarding data analysis. They asked about the outliers. They asked about what the difference between data scientists and data engineers. They asked me about the R value. How will you, if you have 2 days back, you got that Indian budget out. So if you want to measure the budget for after 10 days, how will you measure it? That's one of the questions they asked, and I was like, I don't know. But when I switched out down, I was coming back. This is answers which I prepared, but I could not answer in front of them. I don't know what happened to me at that point. And that's the reason I really wanted to tell you like this experience. I wanted to share with you. And yeah, I hope.
Well, thanks for sharing, Sai. I think that, sorry, that's my dog. I think that probably you might have been a little bit nervous, no?
Yeah, I had been.
Yeah.
It was.
But that's okay.
Hope it's okay.
Yeah.
Because I really desperately wanted to go into that work for the company, but intern, but I could not.
You know, I'm going to share a story because I think it will help you. I had applied for a job a couple of years ago, and I got through all of the interviews, and I was like, "Oh, this is great! I'm getting this job," and it was going to be a really high-profile job. I got all the way to the point where the CEO called me directly on my phone. And word to the wise, if you are not in a position to take a call, don't take the call. So I'm walking down the street. I took the call, stupid. So I'm like in the street, walking with my kids, and I'm getting all of these questions that I was in no way ready to answer. And I was so stupid. I should have just been like, hey, you know what? This really isn't a good time for me. Actually, can we talk another time? But I was so wanting the job, and I so wanted to impress them at that moment that I flubbed it. And it was like, it bothered me for like 3 weeks. I was like, I can't believe I did that. But, you know, if I didn't have that experience, then I wouldn't have known, hey, in future, don't take a call if you're not ready for it. So everything you go through is a learning experience. Never think of it as a bad experience, because there's no such thing, right? Like there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. You know, it's your mindset and how you think about it. So think about it as a learning experience.
Kim, that was so excellent. I couldn't say it any better. That was a great point. Go, Greg.
Tom, would you allow me to do a quick exercise, if you don't mind?
I doubt anyone would mind you wanting to do a quick exercise, Greg.
All right. So at work, I realize how powerful this is. We use something called work backwards. What we do is we visualize the North Star of where we want an idea to be, as if it's already released. I do believe powerfully in the concept of projecting yourself into the future in terms of where you want yourself to be in certain industry, in the professional world, et cetera, et cetera. So what I want everybody to do right now on the comment section is to take maybe 5 seconds. You close your eyes, you picture yourself on an industry doing something that you want to do, in data science or not. And after 5 seconds, maybe 10 of thinking about that, put it in the comments. I want to be a data scientist working on XYZ, whether it's computer vision for blah, 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 or you want to work in biology. I just wanted to have a sense for who you want to be, where you want to go, and what kind of things you want to work on, because there are so many things to solve in this world. Just we need to have a feel. Then when you figure out where you want to be, that's the work backwards. Then figure out where to how to get the skills you need to get to where you want to be. That's how you work backwards from things. So if you could do that, unless Roxelle, you want to ask questions first, or you guys want to go through that quick exercise. So top 15 seconds, put where you want to be, what you want to do, what industry, et cetera, et cetera. Roxelle?
No, it just I want to add something with this that you are telling. I had a time machine experience, because I invented this because if you had the chance to get in the time machine and get back 10 years ago in your life, what did you code change? A lot of things. Everybody will say, oh, a lot of things. I will not change that, this or will do that or other things. Okay, but if you are in 10 years in the future and can back 10 years in the past, this is the present moment. So this is the time that we can change things in my case, from the Roxelle in the future, okay? I don't think if I made myself clear, but
Yeah.
because you can use your imagination.
Yeah.
Just imagination.
I
This
would
will
like
help a lot.
to, that's great, Roxelle. I would like to share something, because this exercise, I used to call it Polaroid picture. It's like you go to the future, you take your picture, and then you get this picture in your, it's like your vision statement. It's the picture of your vision statement. And you, every time that you need some motivation, every time that you think that you are losing the path, the right path, you just keep this picture and you see it and you say, okay, there is something that I have to change or adapt or do it to go to make real this picture from the future. That's great, Greg. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm reading a couple here. They're flooding already, and the key is once you put that out, start gathering the list of skills and experience that you need to get yourself there, right? And then when you make that list, you go after it. You make a plan to go after it. That's how you work backwards. Shantanu, you want to be a brilliant consultant, a big four, for example. What are the skills that you need, right? I'm reading other things here. Data scientists, stop me whenever you feel like it. Data scientist at an engineering firm, and it's good to put it out in the universe when you say it out loud. So allow me to put it out in the universe for you. I want to be a data scientist at an engineering firm using traffic data to design road networks. That is beautiful. Now, Kimani, figure out what you need. How do you want to position yourself to be able to do this? What does it take for a data scientist at an engineering firm today to perform that task? Build up the list of skills that they use, they leverage, and then see how you can start collecting. You don't have to be it in the beginning. Find ways to transfer that learning from other positions as well. Go ahead. Kim, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to add one thing, which is an image that's stuck in my mind. And I was running around my house looking for a rubber band, and I don't have one. I just have a hairband. But one thing to keep in mind is that this is like where you want to be, and this is where you are now on the bottom. The only way that you can get to one space is either pulling the vision closer to you or pulling reality closer to the vision. And it's a really good way to think about your goals, because you want to get closer. And it doesn't matter if you have to change your reality or you have to bring the vision closer, meaning like it's a big problem. You need to break it down into smaller pieces so that you can get closer and closer. That's all.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, can I talk you?
Yes, Anand.
Yeah, how are you, all of you? Fine.
Good.
Yeah, somebody told me that somebody is given their views that when they are to the interview and but they had experience about their work, but when the time interview asks the question, they maybe forget, they maybe they're nervous. So one thing I want to, as a data science, this is a very important to every person and those who are make a career. It is basically to understand a data science, to make you become a data science expert. My first learning is that everybody has to do a small work on that in maybe some small case study in which you learn all the modules, whatever you have did the modules. So on the modules you can understand, you can make one the best model on your hand side. So whenever you go to the interview and question asked you about the RMSI other things, then it is better to understand, give you an answer with what you have did in your past, any project. So that explanation at the time that make you a very confident people, rather than to define a what I can say, define a structure of any points. So it is better to explain with respect of your which you had did in the past and in the project. So in this way you can excel your interview and make a more confident, better than to learn the other things. So it is better to you do a small project on that, everybody. Even I am also doing it, is maybe of some past data, maybe of weather data, maybe of traffic data, maybe of urban data. There are a lot of data available in the internet. So that way I think everybody can have to make a confidence on that way. This
Let
is
me
my
brief. That was Anand. That was good. I think I understood exactly what you're getting at. But Greg, I want you to keep going. I just want you to address. You'll know exactly what I mean when I say it. So you've got this gap, like Kim has illustrated, and I think Anand's given us a bit of wisdom here. There's this gap between here's where you want to be in the future and here's where you are now. Can you talk to us about reasonable step sizes?
Yeah. So that's a great question. Here's why I love it.
Thank you.
And you put it out there in the universe in terms of where you want to be. Here's the thing. You might not necessarily end up there, because on your journey you will discover new things. You will form new opinions of how things are. You will find different opportunities. The key to project yourself in a certain future is to get your momentum going in that direction. And then on your way, you will find different doors open. You will find different opportunities. And I'll give you something here. When I first started my career, my North Star was to become a plant manager. I'm going to say it again. What I put out in the universe is to be a plant manager. And for that, I had to understand business concepts. I had to understand manufacturing metrics. I had to know data. I had to know how to manipulate data. Well, guess what? Knowing how to manipulate data now gave me a job at Amazon beyond what I could imagine as a plant manager. So knowing how to manipulate data was one of those routes that I needed, one of those skills that I needed to become a plant manager. That was my North Star that I put out in the universe. But tapping into how data can change the world gave me another route that made me change my mind about who I wanted to become. So I kept projecting even further. So I took baby steps, and which is why you should never discredit what you learned from the past. You can always transfer that to something else. It becomes valuable anyway. And this exercise should not be static. You should not fixate yourself onto a North Star vision of yourself. Iterate, continue to revisit it, question yourself. What I know today, what I learned tomorrow, will it be taking me closer to that step, or can I find a better destination for myself? Can I find a better niche? Do I feel passionate about something different? Something that's really solving a specific issue for humanity. It changes over time, and that's okay. The thing is, you're continuously working towards that. And I hope I answered your question, Thom and Anand. That's how you move towards it. To me, the universe is full of billions of events. You're only lining yourself up to one or two. When I say events, I mean, you're solving the world of hunger, the world of energy storage, the world of biology, vaccine, whatever. Those are billions of events happening in this universe. There are multiple routes, infinite routes to get there. By shooting, trying, you will make your way there. That's what I believe. And that's how I hope you guys will approach it. What we call failure is because of us society, unfortunately, punishing ourselves. We call it failure. But is it really a failure or another data point of learning? So do approach life this way. Do not punish yourself by calling it also a failure. So if you guys, unless you guys want to, Abdul wants to say something, but if you allow me to put the rest of this text out in the universe, I see other people like Kimani, Vikram. I think I read Kimani already, but Vikram and others also put some things on the side. Anybody can read. Thom, if you want to take over reading what's on the side here, go ahead. But I know Abdul, Deepa have questions raised. So Abdul, you want to go? I think I saw yours first.
Yeah, I just wanted to help out Sai from an interview perspective, because like I got a job recently, right? So I have been through the interview process very recently. So I would like to like sort of outline what I did, and maybe that might help him. That's my idea. So after I was very active on LinkedIn for until like till November and December start, I think. And then after that I got a call from the HR at the place I was interviewing. And they told me that you have like a final interview with the CIO and like the manager, and you have to prepare for that, right? So I got this like in 20 days in advance, and I dropped everything that I was doing, all the side things, everything, and I just sat down and started learning. Okay, Department of Healthcare Finance, what are they about? What do they do? What are their goals? What is their future? Okay, what projects are going on at that place that I can probably leverage my skills onto, and what is the manager like? You can start. I mean, if your company is Department of Healthcare Finance is pretty big, so you can Google a lot of things about them, right? But even if it's like a startup or something, there is something somewhere out there. Their vision or something is out there. So I went on leveraging those that information in my interview with the CIO. Like I was like talking to him. I read about this plan that you have. I think I could be in addition to this because I can do this. And things like those, little things like those impressed him and the manager, because it's the depth you go to make people understand why you would be an asset to them, right? That's the thing. And the other part about the analytical questions that they gave you, for that, I would just say, like, keep preparing so much that even if they ask you when you get up from sleep, you have to be able to answer them. You, like, it should be drilled in your mind. What are, like, the questions, like you told, those are I mean, simple for me. Of course, I've been doing this since long, but they can become simple for you as well, right? It wasn't simple for me, of course, since the beginning. And there is like a practice curve that is meant for everyone that they have to go through. Might take 10 days for me, might take 20 for you, might take 5 for someone else who's better than me, but everybody has their own pace. So you need to, like, really put in the time to get the basics drilled into your head. Like I said, even if I get you up from sleep and ask you what are p-values, what is regression, what are these common machine learning topics, you just have to, like, say it like water. That's what my mom like to say, is if you can't tell it like it's flowing water out of your mouth, it's you haven't learned it well. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Abdul, and
basically,
thank you, Kim.
uh,
I'll definitely follow it. Yeah, it's true. I need to brush up again. Definitely, I'll do.
I know Deepa wants to say something or ask a question.
Yeah, Greg. So whatever you said was there was a lot of positivity in it. Actually, what happens is when you struggle or when you are in the process, there is a lot of chance that you become negative and you things what you actually don't want to do. But whatever you said, like putting into the universe and trying to reach, and there are a lot of data points or points in the universe. Uh, which you are just targeting one, but there are many other targets that you can reach to while in that process. I really loved your point, because what happens is I've been there, so I always feel like there is something more you can do, but in that process you get lost. Yeah, so thank you for putting those things. So do you follow any vision board or something of that sort when you get, I mean, so that you don't fall off your track? Do you do that?
Confession 101. Here's somebody who's helping me on track with that. Talking to people like Gio and Tom are definitely making me change some of those bad habits. I'm one of those, and even at work, I'm one of those who will pull out things out of my head and refuses to put it on paper. But I do meditate a lot. I do repeat a lot of, visions in my head. I do need to change that habit and to put it on a board. I've never done that before. So full on confession. I will preach to you that the vision board is the right way to go because I don't want you to be like me. So, and I guarantee you putting it on a vision board will make you way better than my poor habits in that sense.
I need to make a
Okay.
confession so Greg's not hanging out there on a limb by himself. I preach more than I do. I'm trying to fix that.
Yeah.
I had, yep, sorry.
Go ahead, Deepa.
I had something for Sai also. From where I see, you shouldn't be disappointed at all. Getting an interview itself is a big thing, and you have achieved that milestone. So you should be celebrating those little little moments and happening. I mean, whatever happens. So be happy with that, and next you will be probably clearing the first or second round of interview, and then probably you'll get the job. So don't be disappointed at all. Celebrate whatever you got it. That's what I have to say.
No, that's excellent.
There are
Very
many
true.
people who are not
yeah,
even getting an
yeah,
interview, so be happy.
Greg, I want you
yeah.
to keep
One
going,
thing
but go on ahead, Anand. Go on ahead.
yeah. I am just agree with you, sir, because success is become when you make your failure data point. When you accept your data point on the failure and you do more work on that, then definitely person can be success in the second round. I'm very upset, very appreciative of your point to collect a failure data point and make it a success. So this is a very good. I really appreciate to you, sir.
Greg, I just wanted to encourage you to keep going, but I know some people are having to drop off and already have, but this is so valuable. Greg, I didn't want you to feel shy about keep going. And then Deepa, you still have your hand up. Do you want Greg to answer another question for you? Oh, you're muted too.
No, I'm done. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. We just want to make sure. Okay, keep going, Greg. This is awesome.
So we'll go very quickly here. I am with Vikram. Vikram says, I want to become an ML researcher at a thing and develop something that can help everyone. All right. Now, because we're running out of time, I'm gonna keep moving. But as I'm saying it, Vikram, hear it and start making a list of what it takes to become an ML researcher. And maybe also fixate yourself, right? Sometimes a thing is not the answer. There are other like killer companies out there who need your help. Again, the universe is huge. Don't zone in onto one necessarily. That is a path for unhappiness sometimes. So open up yourself up to the possibilities out there and then figure a way out to move yourself closer to that, to those possibilities. And anything continues to be that target, go for it, right? The good thing is be ready. All right. Okay, here's mine. Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, family, real quick. So this is getting some mileage. So I have an idea. Let's pick up here next week, which means, Greg, sorry to put you on the spot. No binge watching Friday night. You got to show up at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you guys got to realize this is a huge commitment from Greg to get up before 7 on a Saturday morning. But Greg, this is going so good, and I sense it's helping everyone so much. Let's let you lead the icebreaker at the beginning of the time next week. And by the way, if everything goes to plan, Greg, next week starts at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time because the class starts at 7 a.m. So for the course of the class, Greg, I'm sorry, you can't binge watch on Friday nights if you're going to be sharp in class. Guys, this was great. The only reason I want to end now is because people are having to drop off, and this topic is so valuable. I don't want it to just be chopped here at the end where everybody can't stay on. So let's just start over with this, Greg. This the future Polaroid, the rubber band, and even Kim and Gio had to go by now, but this will be better. And then, so again, guys, if everything goes to plan, which it looks like it will, we'll have our first class, our first lecture. It'll be one of the hardest in one way, and